Did you think learning guitar was going to be easy? I know I did, but it quickly got tough and I quit, at least 3 times, probably more. I eventually learned how to play, but it was not pretty, and I really wished I could have done things smarter to speed up my results. Over the last 15 years, I've taught hundreds of in-person students and over 41,000 online students how to play guitar, and I've learned a lot in the process. So to help make your guitar journey 10 times easier, here are 28 brutal truths of learning guitar I wish I'd have known a lot sooner. Lesson number 1, the should trap. Sarah came to me frustrated after 6 months of forcing herself through jazz standards because her previous teacher said that's what she should learn. When I asked her what music she actually loved, her eyes lit up talking about folk music. The moment we switched to teaching her Joni Mitchell songs, everything changed. She was playing guitar way more and her progress exploded. Here's the truth. Shoulds lead you down a road of joyless playing. Follow your musical heart instead. Lesson 2, the age excuse. Let's take Bob, my 68-year-old guitar student who believed his fingers were just too old to learn guitar. 6 months later, he was playing Blackbird for his grandkids. The week after that, I had a 19-year-old quit because it was just too hard. Age isn't the barrier. Mindset is. You can learn at any age if you're willing to put in the work. Lesson 3, the determination factor. Maria had severe arthritis in her left hand. Instead of giving up, she modified her technique, used a lighter gauge string, and now plays beautiful fingerstyle pieces. Where there's a will, there's always a way. Your determination is your greatest asset you could ever ask for. Lesson 4, the level illusion. A student once asked me what level guitarist she was. I showed her a video of her playing from 6 months ago, and her jaw dropped at how far she'd come. Yet she was still calling herself a beginner. Here's the truth. Levels in guitar playing are meaningless labels. Focus on your personal growth, not some arbitrary ranking. Lesson 5, the breakthrough. Jenny was stuck on a difficult riff for 2 weeks. Frustrated, she took a weekend off, and when she came back, she nailed it on her first try. Her brain had been processing even while she wasn't playing. Sometimes stepping away is exactly what your playing needs. Taking breaks is not quitting, it's strategic rest. Lesson 6, the permission to quit. Tom spent 3 months forcing himself to learn sweep picking because that's what his favorite guitarist did. He was miserable. When I told him it was okay to drop it and focus on rhythm playing instead, his whole approach changed. He became a monster rhythm player. Sometimes quitting one thing actually opens the door to finding your true strength. Lesson 7, the slow growth secret. I had a student who wanted to learn Hotel California in her very first month. She was overwhelmed and getting super frustrated. So instead of trying to learn the whole song at once, we broke it down into the 5 core skills that she would need. Then, when she revisited the song every few months, it became easier and easier to get under her fingers. Here are the 5 skills you can break any song into. Core technique, things like finger picking or flat picking. Signature riffs and licks, scale patterns used, basic chord structure, and chord transitions and connecting phrases. This approach turns an overwhelming song into manageable pieces you can focus on separately and then bring together. Here's the lesson. There are only 5 skills you need to play any song. Focusing on those builds a foundation that allows you to learn new songs much, much faster. If you're nodding along because you felt the same exact frustration, I completely understand. That's why I created Tony's Acoustic Challenge, to provide short, focused daily lessons that build these 5 fundamental skills. Our community of over 41,000 guitarists, many of whom started later in life, prove that consistent small wins lead to real progress. To see how it works, you can watch my free web class where I'll show you how to turn your frustration into a clear path towards a fun, progress-filled guitar journey. Lesson 8, the song solution. I had 2 groups of students learn bar chords. Group A practiced traditional exercises. Group B learned Wish You Were Here. Guess which group stuck with it? The song group improved at bar chords twice as fast because they had an actual real musical context. Hard techniques become easier to work on when you learn them through songs that you love. Lesson 9, the fun factor. Alex was following a self-prescribed rigid practice routine. His progress was pretty decent, but he looked absolutely miserable. I told him to spend 1 week playing only what felt fun. His playing time naturally doubled, and suddenly he was improving faster than ever before. If you're not enjoying it, something needs to change. Lesson number 10, the community effect. Lisa was ready to quit guitar until she joined a local jam group. 6 months later, she's organizing her own meetups and playing open mics. The same skills she was struggling with alone became way easier when she worked on them with others. Community isn't just about support, it's rocket fuel for your growth. Lesson 11, consistency is key. Dave practiced for 3 hours every Sunday, but complained about slow progress. Meanwhile, Sarah played 15 minutes daily and improved rapidly. The difference? Your brain and muscles need regular reinforcement, not occasional marathons. Small, consistent playing sessions beat irregular, long sessions every single time. Lesson 12, the progress perspective. A student sent me a video of herself playing, frustrated that she sounded terrible. I played her recording from 2 months ago, and she was shocked at how far she'd come. The lesson? You need to compare apples to apples. Record yourself regularly and measure progress against your past self, not against anybody else. Lesson number 13, recency bias. Mark came to his lesson devastated because he'd messed up at an open mic. Yet the week before, he played the same song perfectly at a family gathering. One bad day does not erase your progress. Your most recent performance is not the measure of your ability. Your consistency is what matters most. Lesson 14, the success spectrum. I had 2 students start around the same time. Rachel wanted to play in a band, while Jim just wanted to strum campfire songs. A year later, they were both thrilled with their progress, despite being in completely different places. Success isn't a one-size-fits-all destination. It's whatever brings you joy in your playing. Lesson number 15, the celebration solution. Kate kept setting goal after goal. Learn this song, master that technique. She'd achieve one and then immediately move to the next, never feeling satisfied with what she'd done. When she finally started enjoying the process itself, her playing transformed. Just chasing goal after goal without stopping to celebrate your progress will burn you out. The joy is in the journey itself. Lesson 16, the comparison trap. A talented student quit because he couldn't play like John Mayer after 6 months. Meanwhile, another student was thrilled about learning her very first G chord. Guess which one still plays guitar today? Comparing yourself to others is the fastest way to kill your motivation. Your only competition is yourself. Lesson 17, small wins. Charlie was frustrated that he couldn't play a full song yet, but he didn't notice that his chord changes had gotten cleaner, his rhythm had improved, and he actually had calluses on his fingertips. When we listed all these small improvements, his perspective completely shifted. Big progress is just a series of small wins stacked together. Lesson 18, the exploration edge. Miguel was playing the blues for years, but he was stuck in a major guitar rut, playing the same thing over and over again. I decided to challenge him to learn a bluegrass tune. That single departure from his comfort zone revolutionized his blues playing. The best growth often comes from unexpected places. Make sure to keep your ears and mind open to new musical territories. Lesson number 19, the reflection revolution. Sam thought that he was not improving at all until I had him watch videos of his playing from 3 months ago. He was shocked at the difference. Another student who recorded weekly could pinpoint exactly when her bar chords clicked. Regular recording isn't just about tracking progress, it's about building confidence through concrete evidence. Nothing beats it. Lesson 20, the focus formula. I watched a student play guitar for an hour while checking his phone every now and again. Another one played for just 20 focused minutes. No phone, no TV, no distractions. The focused student progressed more in that short session than the other one did all week. Distraction is not just a pause in playing. It's a progress killer. Lesson 21, the unknown territory. Lisa was embarrassed that she didn't know what a capo was, so she struggled silently for weeks. When she finally did ask, she discovered that half the class had the same exact question. Not knowing something is not a weakness. It's an opportunity to grow. The only truly embarrassing thing is pretending to know instead of asking. Lesson 22, the obstacle strategy. I had a student whose guitar routine completely fell apart when he started a new job. I had another student who faced a similar circumstance, and she started playing during her lunch break. The difference? She had a backup plan ready. Life is going to throw curveballs at your guitar routine. Success comes from having a plan B, a plan C, or a plan D. Lesson 23, the tiny habit truth. Pete committed to just opening his guitar case and tuning his guitar once a day. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but that tiny commitment grew into a 30-minute daily playing habit. Meanwhile, I had another student who promised himself 2 hours of practice daily, and he quit after a week. Sometimes the smallest, most ridiculous version of your guitar habit is the one that sticks. Lesson 24, the 24-hour win. Rob set a goal to play at an open mic in 6 months, but he kept procrastinating. When we set a goal to just print out the chords and learn just one, within 24 hours, everything changed. He built momentum from that first quick win. The key to big goals? Make your first milestone something you can achieve within 24 hours. It will make a huge difference in how you approach it. Lesson number 25, the real reason. I asked one of my students why he wanted to learn guitar, and he said something like, "I'm not really sure, it's just kind of always been on my list." 6 months in, he confessed that what really drove him was wanting to connect with his teenage son who was learning drums. Once he acknowledged this deeper motivation, his whole approach changed. He was playing guitar way more consistently, and yes, he and his son now jam regularly. The reason you think you picked up guitar often isn't what truly drives you. When you uncover your real why, it becomes an unstoppable force. Lesson 26, the snob shield. I watched one of my students almost quit guitar because some guy at Guitar Center mocked him and his beginner guitar. 2 years later, that same student was gigging regularly while the critic was still hanging out at the store. Here's what I told him. Guitar snobs are just people who have totally forgotten the joy of playing. Their opinions don't really matter at all. Lesson number 27, the progress paradox. Sophie was constantly frustrated because she kept comparing herself to her guitar heroes. Then I showed her a video of her very first lesson from 6 months ago. She was shocked at how far she'd come. The next week, she started keeping a wins journal instead of a practice log. Looking backward at your progress is far more motivating than looking forward at some impossible ideal. There is no finish line in guitar, only milestones in an endless journey of growth. Lesson 28, the perfect time myth. Last week, I had a student tell me that he'd been waiting 5 years for the right time to start playing guitar. He had a whole list of reasons why. He was too busy, he had the wrong guitar, he needed more money for lessons. And you know what changed when he finally started? Absolutely nothing. He just decided to begin. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to really commit to your guitar journey, let this be your sign. The best time to start is right now. Join me in Tony's Acoustic Challenge, where you're going to get a bite-sized daily lesson that will fit into any schedule, plus a supportive community to keep you going. Click the link below to watch my free guitar web class and see how TAC can help you finally make consistent progress on guitar. Please, don't let another day slip by. Your guitar journey starts now.